Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. This is the first one of this week. I'm very excited to bring in my next guest in a few. But before we do that, you can follow the show on all the podcast platforms. But once we get into it, hit my music. Let's get it. All right, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. Happy Wednesday evening. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harding. Glad to be back with some new episodes this week. This is the first episode of the week, so I hope everyone is enjoying the week. I know it's been busy. I'm sorry, all over. So I hope everyone excited. Everyone halfway through the week and getting ready for almost the weekend. But again, thank you for everyone that's tuning in. I'm your host, Courtney Hardin. You can follow the show on all the podcast platforms, whether it is Spotify, Apple. We're also on YouTube, Spreaker, BS3 Network, BS3TVLive.com, BS3 Network, Roku channel. You can follow all the shows on the BS3 Network, whether it's sports, movie review, movie TV review, we got cooking. We got a little bit of everything on the network. So BS3TVLive.com is where you can find all the shows, and you can follow me on all the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Get the real deal. All right. Well, let me bring in my guest. I'm very excited. We've been trying to get this worked out, and we finally made it. So I'm excited to have her on. She goes by the sports betting queen herself, Katie Demesa. Is that, I say that right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I got it. Yes. She is the sports betting queen, sports consultant, anything, parlays, football, baseball, NBA, NASCAR, NHL, tennis, all the sports, Major League Soccer, all the sports there. Also, she's the host of the Crooks and Books podcast. Follow them there. Great podcast as well. Give it a listen on all the streaming platforms as well. So Katie, the K Deuces, the sports betting queen, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Courtney. I appreciate you and your show. Love it. So I'm a big fan as well. I really am thankful for you having me here. So
you're very welcome. And I'm thankful for, we connected connected on Instagram, maybe about maybe a month ago. And we just kind of, I reached out by email and social media. We followed each other and there. And like I said, I enjoy your show, enjoy your podcast, enjoy, just the sports betting aspect of it, and love and shout out to the Crooks and Books podcast, the entire crew there as well. So it was you got a whole team there. So
we do. Yeah.
Exciting.
They're a great group of guys. I've known them for years in the making, and that's how our show got started. So, it's really just a show about trash talking. And kind of just like who's got the better take. So, I love the guys. We actually are recording our show tonight, and we would love to have you on sometime in the future.
Oh, for sure. I am, I'm always down. So yes, I will. I gladly, anytime you need me, or if you want me as a guest, I'm totally down. I will definitely return the favor.
Great.
For sure.
Yeah, perfect.
For sure. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let me, I always ask my first time guest on the show, who is the sports betting queen, and how did you get into sports, and just tell us a little bit of your background.
Okay. Who is the sports betting queen? So that is me at K Deuces. And I got the name, I think, because I was the only woman in the group that would always talk crap or I guess talk sense into what was going on as far
Right.
as the conversations were, especially when it came around the NFL, because that is what our show is based off of. It's based on the NFL season, and we go through all of the weeks and the games, and that's basically the slot. And I got started betting when I was really young. So I think I would say around 13 years old is when I really started to kind of picture what those numbers were. That was always being talked about in the background by my parents, especially growing up in a household where my father would take bets with his own brothers and sisters. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of just clicked in because my aunt, she used to watch us, and she was a 49er fan. So
Okay.
at that time, 49ers, Cowboys, the rivalries between
Mm.
certain teams, especially
Yes.
those teams back in the 90s, it was
Yep.
really big. So I was able to learn what football really was and what it stood for, not only in the entertainment aspect, because I also used to watch wrestling, and that's like WWE, WWF,
Yeah.
like,
WWF back in the day. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about if
Yep.
they're in my age group, but it was kind of like the same drama. So I didn't really relate that until we started the show, but that's how I really got started into it. I learned a lot about football, and then I started putting the numbers together because I didn't know what the spreads were,
Mm.
or what a parlay was, or if I didn't understand if, okay, so the Niners are minus this, but like my dad is talking about, like he didn't take the Niners, but he's still winning because he took the Cowboys, but he's a Niner fan. So
Right.
I never understood it until I started really getting into it with him, and he taught me the numbers, and then he started getting me to collect for my uncles.
I love it. And then, yeah, that's interesting. Like you said, getting into the numbers, just with family and things like that, and just
Mhm.
learning. You're right. I think the 90s with that Cowboys 49ers rivalry back in the day. I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm going to talk junk about the Cowboys. And they haven't been
Yeah.
relevant since then.
Yeah.
So, but in the 90s, they were the relevant team. They were America's team. And during that time it was either them or it was the Cowboys or the 49ers. Cowboys,
The
49ers.
Eagles, the Eagles were in it too, I think, because I just remember my dad, he's an Eagles fan. So
Mm-hmm.
he would have these jackets. I think you know what those jackets
Starter
are. Those,
jackets. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
starter jackets that
Mm-hmm.
everyone now wants, and it's been revamped.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he'd have every single team that he liked or followed. But in my head, I was like, how come he just doesn't like one team? And one reason I think is because I'm from Los Angeles, and we didn't really have a team. We had the Raiders, who, God bless my grandma's soul, but she was a Raider fan in
Mm-hmm.
96. So
Mm.
those were the
Yeah.
times where you were a badass Raider fan.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
So
Yes.
so I think it was because, and betting was big in LA at the time, especially within our family and cousins and other people's families, friends, because it was such, like you said, the rivalry, the entertainment, but we just didn't have a team to stick onto. And I think that really taught me a lot about discipline in betting as well. Is
Mm.
that when I look back into it, I see why certain teams my dad would pick because of betting. You know.
Yeah, yeah, right. And sports betting, let's get into that now. Like with the way sports betting is today, it's legal in, I think, I'm not in all 50 states. I know it's legal in a lot of states now.
Mhm.
But back then it wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
legal at all. So it's a huge uh difference with the sports betting. Uh-oh, I think I lost you.
Oh. Oh, there you go. I'm back.
Okay, yep, there it
Yeah.
is. All right, no problem. Yeah, we know this is a
Yeah,
podcasting.
sorry
Yeah,
about
it
that. I don't know
happens.
what's
It
going
happens all
on.
the time. It happens
Yeah.
all the time. So no problem. But I was gonna say how sports betting has grown so much now. Like I said, it's legal in a lot of different states. And but let's talk. That's like you said. Go back a little bit from the 90s and early 2000s about where sports betting, there was internet just started in the 90s
Mhm.
and things like that. And you would have to go to the casino to get, do that. Now you can do it on your phone or anywhere else and
Yeah,
everything too.
apps.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and apps. You're right. Talk about what you've seen in the growth of sports betting from the 90s and early 2000s to what it is today.
Yeah, so you kind of touched on it as far as like apps, and then it
Yeah.
went obviously from house games to just for fun, or maybe like IOUs or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? And
Mhm.
then now you're getting into DraftKings, all sorts of apps.
Yeah.
DraftKings even has an app for a place that isn't necessarily legal in the spread betting. Like I live in California, so basically you have pick six, DraftKings pick six, where you can only pick props or
Yeah.
specific props to go over a certain amount. So I think there's so much growth and I guess opportunities to monetize, as far as if you're a sports betting show, or even if you were just trying to get out there on your app. I think it if it's on your cell phone or anything mobile, you can definitely get a bet in no matter what it is. And there's
Mm,
obviously other places too that have moved electronically, and I know this from specific friends and family. Obviously I can't name who they are, but like
right.
they have done this for 20-30 years with a friend group, and now they're moving on to like electronically putting everything there with a whole interface and stuff like that. And all these places really do that now.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yep.
There's so much like social media. X is probably one of the biggest ones. I didn't really get into Twitter back then, because the Instagram was a lot more followers as far as my show was concerned, but
Right.
there's different ways.
Right, for sure. And then yeah, and I agree, like the access now to be able to, I mean, you could get all types of numbers and as you said, you
Yeah.
studied numbers back in the, when you first got into this and
Mhm.
sports in general, statistics and things like that. Now, I mean, you can make a bet, you said, right off your phone. You have to go anywhere. You could be right in your house and make bets right off your phone from all these platforms, as you said, DraftKings, FanDuel, all these
Mhm.
things. You don't have to go to the casino or anything like that. I mean, still can, and that's fun too. But now you can just bet right off your phone
Yeah,
and do
and
that.
to add to that, I there is proxies as well, and I
Yeah,
forgot to
proxies.
mention
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
I have so Vegas Football Proxy is one of the sponsors for our podcast, and we entered, and I think you can see my hat here. This is the Millions contest, and they also have the Survivor contest.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
it's up to $21 million already this season. And if you weren't able to join, you can join next season, but you have things like the proxy services that are publicly out there now for gamblers that don't have that. They can't come in every week to make a bet or place a bet for the contest, but they'll be able to do that for you and with you as a service. So these are things that have grown throughout the years.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, the proxy services, that yeah, that's another way to be able to bet,
Mhm.
and like I said, and now like the betting has, like I said, has grown so much. There's so many different contests and major contests. He said survivor pools, and
Mhm.
you could even say fantasy football has
Yes.
has grown so much. I've been playing
So
fantasy
much.
football for 20 something years, even maybe longer. Can't remember
And you look
now.
so young. Look
Oh,
at you.
thank you.
Like you've been playing since you were like 2 then, I guess.
Thank you. Yes, but yeah, it's so much, and yes, there could be there's always there's pluses
Yeah.
and minuses
My
when it
kids
comes.
play it now, you
Yeah,
know?
right,
That's
right,
the
and
crazy thing.
that is right, and then my nephews, they when I was younger, they would look and say, I want to get into a fantasy football draft, and I taught them about the sport itself, and looking at numbers, and
Mhm.
and things like that, how to draft, and now they're betting, they're doing all types of betting, they love it, like
Or yeah, they're on the props, like, "Oh, do
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yes, yep,
Anthony Edwards is gonna go over this much," and it's just
right,
like,
right,
"Dude, we didn't even bet that." You know what I
No,
mean?
right, exactly. Yeah, so yeah,
Remember
my
that if Michael Jordan was gonna make so many like hoops or shots in a night, like that's crazy. And if I
yeah.
were her, then that would have been cool that I made money off of it. But I'm sitting there like, oh my god, you guys are betting on this? This is crazy.
Yeah. My cousin, I mean, he's got into it like big time now.
Yeah,
He's older now. He's older, but he be sometimes be texting me and asking me for advice because I mean, yes, I was the big sports person and just
right.
and do it. And they come to me in like when I go. I'm originally from upstate New York, live in Philly now, but we'll go back home and they'll ask me like, hey, I'm doing these parlays. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? I'm like, I'm trying to win money too. Like, okay, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, I can give you this. What's the over under on this? And
Oh
all
my
the
gosh.
we all on the numbers and things like that. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But I
No,
love that they're
me
into it.
too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's good camaraderie, and then it's
it
competitiveness.
is.
It brings it out in everybody, and it makes it just more fun, obviously. And I think it's not gonna, go away. It's
Yeah,
like you said, like you brought it up as the first question. It's gonna just be growing even more, and our children are gonna be part of it. They already are, you
yep.
know. And fantasy helps with. Sometimes it helps with betting. Sometimes.
And sometimes, yeah, yes, and it intertwines, but I know fancy sports and betting, it's the same, but it is different too. But it
Mhm.
does help. It does help each other
Yes.
out for sure. And I know fantasy, I guess players they say, oh, it's a bit different. It's still you're still betting because you're still, especially with
You're
those big
still, yeah.
contests. Yeah, yeah. So
Correct. Do you like, if you don't mind me asking, do you do like other fantasy other than football, or have you
I used to
always
do
do that?
yes, I do mostly football now.
Mhm.
I used to do baseball too long,
Oh my
and
God, so boring, right? And you're
yes,
just
too
like, I
long.
don't even know at this point, like who
Yes,
to, yeah, this is
right.
crazy.
Season
Yeah.
long. That's yes, that's way too long. And so I stopped doing that. And I'll dabble in I do DraftKings. I do a lot of DraftKings.
Okay.
So I'll basketball and football mostly. Golf. I definitely now.
Oh wow, fantasy golf. Wow,
Yes,
that's
I'm
pretty
into
crazy.
the DraftKings golf. I'm like addicted, and my wife always says, "Oh, here you go with golf again. Here you
Oh
go."
my gosh,
And
yeah.
yeah, I
I
started getting.
can't do golf. I can't even play it because
I
it's
I
just
know I don't play it. I
I
definitely
don't
don't
have
play
any patience, Courtney, at all. Like, I think my patience literally went to both my children,
Oh,
and then
okay.
that was pretty much
There,
it. Like,
there it is.
it's just
Yes.
like it's not a virtue of mine at
Well,
all.
that's good. Hey, like you said, your kids got the patience, so that's a
Yes.
good thing. So that's I love that and everything too. So all right, well, we'll get into the podcast in a little bit, like how it started and things like
Mhm.
that. What are some of the biggest challenges? As you said, not your woman in the sports betting, which is a male dominant industry, but I'm gonna say this, like women in sports betting has grown tremendously too. We've seen a
Mhm.
lot, and I love seeing it. I'm a big advocate women in sports and things like that. But what are some of the biggest challenges you have faced in a male dominant industry like sports betting or as
I
any?
think I think it's really the perception
Yeah,
of,
right,
what a woman can really do and what we can prove. Not that we have to, right?
right,
It's
yes.
almost kind of like I guess you can't really put a label on it until you know that that's the real thing. So,
Mm,
one thing that relates to your podcast, this is the real deal, right? So I'm going to keep it real with you.
keep it. Thank
There's
you.
a
Yes,
lot
appreciate it.
there's a lot of people in the industry that, oh, like she doesn't know what she's talking about, or
Mm,
she only knows like this much because she may not know like the rules on this, or she doesn't have the stats on that. But when someone really starts talking to you and you have, I guess, the language, because I work in a corporate world as well. And if you're not able to speak that language, then sometimes they just don't have the time for you, or they
right.
know that you can't do your job, right? So to me, I think that the biggest challenge was not just proving to other people, but proving to yourself that you can get over the hump of that stereotypical perception of
Mm,
women not being able to um, bet, or they can't bet as good as the guys can, or
Right.
only guys watch it. But if you listen closely and if you watch closely, every one of those men, or I'm just going to say most of those men that watch like in a family home or at their houses or with their guys, they all go back to a woman, right? They all go
Yeah.
back to a woman that they pillow talk to, or their partner, and they're venting about this stuff. But then when their partner has something to say about it, it's more like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about because, like this. But if you think about everything that that person has gathered, they kind of know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like they're losing a lot or they're winning a lot because they're
Right.
living life. But at the same time, it's all like very, I guess it's the drama in it. And I always say this, I've asked this question a lot. Um, it's the drama. It's the drama in everything that you see with NFL.
Right.
And that's what makes women really good at it, because we love the drama. We love, I guess you can say like the talk about it, the whole like spiel on it, or who's doing what. And it's like a soap opera. If you look at it as a soap opera, you'll never see it the same again.
That's a
Like,
good point.
and I think those were one of the biggest challenges for me, coming up into the betting podcasting world, was that, oh, like, what is she going to talk about? And that's why I had to kind of change the game to show that, hey, like, I'm not just one of these people that are just, that you see online that is going to charge you, and I'm going to have sexy pictures. And, and I don't knock that at all. Trust me. Like, I know I have friends that do the same thing, but like, for me, it's like, I know what I'm really talking about, because you can talk to me one-on-one and I'll keep it real with you. And you can talk to me about the teams that you like and the teams that I like, and
Right.
we'll argue about it, or we'll laugh about it, or whatever it is. But also my numbers prove it, and it's free, and all you got to do is listen.
Yep.
So I think that's how I was able to overcome that challenge. But those were one of the biggest challenges, was kind of proving the perception of what a woman can do in the betting world.
I love it. I love that. And you're right. It is a perception, because as you know, I'm hoping we can, and I'm, getting to a point where it doesn't matter if woman, man, because
Yeah.
you said I see it on social media a lot, where men are talking like, oh, they don't know, the women don't know what they're talking about, they should be in this, they should be that. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you guys be quiet, because they are putting in that work and doing big things, and they say don't have to prove anything, but you're going out there and whatever it is, whether it is in sports betting, sports media, anything like that, just dominating it. And I love seeing it. I love seeing the growth. I love seeing women continue to keep pushing forward, pushing down those doors, and things like that. And I try to use my platform to highlight that. And that's why I was so excited to have you on, just be a part of it and sharing your story, of, like I said, overcoming things like that. And you say, I know there's always going to be negativity, and there's always going to be those trolls and
Yeah.
all those things, but
Or like haters, that
haters,
you'll never
yeah,
get rid of. But I think that feeds also, like, feeds into what your motivation is, like,
yes,
hey, like, not only will you be proven wrong, but it'll be proven
right,
to you that, like, someone like me can do this. And that's what it really is about. It's inspiring other women, other
yeah,
moms,
right,
whether single moms or housewives that want to make extra money to be able to pay for their kids' sports. And it all relates to it, because you see your kid going into sports. I have two kids in active sports, right? And I see, like, the struggle of moms and dads and splitting time. And I think it really encourages them to spend time together as a family too. And many will say, like, oh, betting, like, we don't want to look at it in that way, like, that's bad. And a lot of the times that was a perception too. Like, like, betting is bad. Let's not do that. That's not a way to make money. We should, and this is just for extra stuff, or even if you're making $200 a day, like, that's already in itself almost $70,000 a year. You know what I mean? And anywhere you can get anything to come in to be able to provide for your family, or even as a student or a woman trying to get into the world, like, it's all there. and it's up to you to be able to be good at it or not. And if you're not, then obviously you got to call 1-800-GAMBLER, but
yes. Yes, yeah, you gotta have that, but you gotta have that because some people get out of hand, and that
Mhm.
goes to. I mean, we could do an educational thing on this,
Yeah.
managing your bankroll, doing this to have fun. Like I know a lot of people get into this to I want to make quick money and win.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that
No,
way at all. At all.
it
You're
does
gonna lose.
sometimes, right? It
Yeah,
does
yeah.
sometimes,
Sometimes, right.
but that's what makes it fun too, is like our children, we're very open with betting and what we're taking, and it sets kind of like the whole thing on like, hey guys, when you bet, you got to bet smart, and if you don't bet
Yes.
smart, then this is
Yep.
what happens, or
Hmm.
like you can't make that mistake. So it's like learning lessons too, and I think it really does bring out like these haters will always bring out the encouraging part in me that I can just only inspire more. So the more they hate, the more I can inspire.
Yep, exactly. I love that. Yeah, I really like that. And so all right, just got a couple more because I know you said you got your
Sure, yeah.
podcast coming up as well. You got to save that voice for your
Yeah,
podcast.
sorry to
No,
keep you. I know it's such a good conversation.
no, I love it. No, we'll definitely have to do this again,
Mhm.
for sure. Now you're part of the podcast family, the Real Deal podcast family, as I say. You're your podcast family now. So, but let's talk about the podcast and how it
Mhm.
all got started. Tell us a little bit about when did it get started and what can people look forward to when they listen to the podcast.
So we got started in 2018. We were just all talking about the games and what bets we wanted to take as a group because we were all just big football fans, and I'm
Mhm.
talking about the Crooks and Books crew. That's Brad, and that's Big Brad. That's Bobby Banks. That's Caleb, who's a comedian, and Prado the Pointer. And we're all on there, and we talk about the slots for each week, every week for the next 16, 17 weeks.
Yeah.
And including holidays. So we try to get on every week for everybody. We have a newsletter at www.thesportsbettingqueen.com. All of our picks are on there up to the real time, or we try to get it to you guys for, close to live time as we can. We record on Wednesdays and it comes out Thursdays, just in time for the Thursday night football.
Yes. Hmm.
And you always have our picks on there, or what we're leaning against. And the reason how we got popular was for the last 2 years, 2023, 2024, we have been above 61%. And
Wow.
we take kind of like a win-loss ratio every week. All those win-loss ratios are put into 18 weeks, and then including the wild card playoffs, NFC, AFC, Super Bowl. For example, in 2023, we bet 661 games and we were at 60% at 388 and 273 for win-loss.
Wow.
So it's really proven that the whole podcast, when you come together as a team, you can really do things like above 60%. And that's what we want, right? To be able to make money or to be positive. And then last year we did 299 and 206, and we bet 505 games and we were at 60%. So we try to keep that afloat for all the listeners because, like we know they want to make money. But yeah, we started it in 2018. We kind of blew up in 2020.
Yeah.
Because COVID was a big year for us and a big year for everybody. And then from there, we've just been going on, and it's been such a crazy journey. So, if you're out there and you're starting your own thing, like don't quit. It's just real. I know everybody says it that's successful or that's had success in their life, but it's true. No matter how much you want to. I mean, there's been times where I'm like, guys, I don't even want to do this right now because
Yeah.
I got to get on and I got to do the edits and this and that. Like, don't do it. Just keep going.
Keep going. Yes, I agree 100%. Like as you said, as a fellow podcaster like yourself, and I get it. There are days when you don't want to do this, and there's days, like you said, I gotta edit this, and I gotta edit this, and
Or you're
I
just
gotta
losing. You're like,
losing.
God,
Yeah,
like, am I even
yeah,
good enough for all these
yeah.
people? You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, you had those
um,
times, but you're right. Got to
mhm,
keep pushing. Got to keep going, moving forward with it. Because if you enjoy doing this, whether it is you said podcasting or sports betting, you
mhm,
got to keep. You're right. You got to keep going because you
yeah.
just
And
don't.
don't quit.
And
Just
don't
don't quit.
quit. That's
All you
good
got to do.
advice. That's very good advice.
You
So,
could be at your lowest point and you can be
hmm
like, guys, I don't even want to like do it anymore. It
yep.
just sucks or whatever. But like, just keep going. Trust me. All the guys have been on the show and they've not wanted to do a show or they couldn't or whatever it is.
hmm
But you got to try just because it's something that you really like. You know, I really like it. So I'm going to do my best at it.
Yep. So you take the time to actually
Mhm.
do it, and yeah, I get it. There was there was a year. I took a year off because I was so
Wow.
burnt out. Yeah, um, and and this is I was writing, I was
Mhm.
editing, I was doing all types, and every day thought I had to get things out, and I got burnt out. So I took a year off and came back in 2019 came back with a podcast, reformatted it, and been doing it ever since. But now, like I said, I do it on my, not every day, but when I have
On
my
your
guests,
time.
yeah, on
Yeah.
my time now. Yeah, before I thought I had to do that, but you're right. I love it. I'm passionate about
And you
it.
just
So
never gave up,
I never
Courtney. See,
gave
you
up.
never
Yeah,
gave up. That's
yeah,
what you
yeah,
don't, and you don't want to do that. See, that goes for betting too. Like,
yeah. Yes,
just
yes.
don't give up on
Don't
yourself.
give
Like
up.
if you do, then that means you need help. But just don't give
Right.
up.
Yeah, because like you said, if you're losing,
Mhm.
you're going to go on losing streaks. You're not going to be on winning streaks all the time. If we did, we'd all be rich. If we, if
Yeah, and I
we'd
think
win. Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things too is that like I show when I lose, and
Mm,
I tell everybody how I feel. Whether it was the refs or it was cheating in my eyes, whatever it is,
yeah.
obviously, they always say like, okay, the refs were cheating if
The
you
refs were
lose, and
cheating again.
the
Yep.
refs were
Here's the
on your
refs.
side.
Yes.
No, but
Yeah.
I show them the real me. I don't just go,
Mm,
hey, I'm always winning. I'm always winning. Listen to my stuff. I'm always winning. It's proven that I've won more than I've lost, obviously, but because of where we're at with the numbers in the last couple of years. But when I've lost, I have told people through and through like why, and I should have never taken that, or that was a rookie mistake, or whatever it was, whatever game it was. Like, think I can talk about it. This past the Denver game. Oh my God.
oh yeah. Yes.
That was crazy,
That
right?
was
So
crazy.
you're
The
like,
ending. Yeah.
yeah, and then I think it was the Texans game that was the most recent one.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I recently took them on Circa Millions as well, but I took two Dallas teams, and I have a very very odd um, way of looking at it that I shouldn't take two Dallas teams to cover a spread that's when they're both favorites because I just think that there's this weird city vibe
Okay.
that I always get. Like if it's LA, Boston, or Florida. Those are the biggest markets in my head.
Right.
This is how I analyze it, is
Okay.
that
Yeah.
I shouldn't be taking Dallas and Texans in the same
Mm,
parlay or in the
hmm
same thread because one of them's going to lose. And I
Right.
knew that. I just didn't figure it out because I had to submit it to Tom at Vegas
Okay.
Football Proxy. So
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
like, oh
Yes.
my God, I totally freaking lost this already. And then, of course, my husband was like, no, the Texans got this. I'm like, dude, it's Florida. It's
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield,
Yep.
and you got Vita Vea.
Yes.
Like, this
Yes.
is calling for dogs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and how much do you want to bet? Of course, that comes out. I'm like, how much do you want to bet the Chargers are going to win straight up? And everyone wants to take the Raiders because oh my God, it's Vegas, it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yep.
so much talk on Tom Brady and his new league, and of course, there it is. So I was sitting
Yeah.
there like, God, what a rookie mistake. Oh
Mm.
God, I've been
It,
doing this for years, but see, we all make mistakes.
man,
We
all
all make
mistakes.
mistakes.
It happens. Like you had those weeks where you said we all have our thing. Like, okay, this is I'm not gonna do this. Like you said, I'm not gonna take two Texas teams, as you said, on the same week.
I just
But
have that theory,
yeah,
like,
yeah, right,
and then
right.
of course the Marlins were playing, and I'm sitting there, of
Yeah,
course, this
yes,
is just
yes.
perfect,
Always. it happens all the time. Like, and you said you do have those weeks, and like I'm in a survivor pool, like you said, and
Mhm.
I'm always thinking, okay, who should I take? Should I take the favorites now? Should I wait? Should I wait until this week? We're analyzing it, weekly, and it's like, okay, because even now I always put my picks in, and I can put them in on Sunday, but once
Mhm.
Thursday hit, I always do my everything on Thursday, and I make my switches like on my fancy town. I make my switches when I need to,
Right.
but on Thursday it's like, okay, I'm just gonna put my whoever my survivor pick is. This is what's gonna be. I'm not gonna wait till Sunday and don't care about the Thursday night game and things like
Mhm.
that. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna do it now, put it to bed, and I picked the Cowboys last week, and they
They
barely like
won, but they
they
didn't cover.
won, they didn't
Yeah.
cover, right, exactly. So I was like, man, but I got through. I mean, Survivor is all about, survive and go and move on, survive and move
Mhm.
on. That's what it's called. So I got to, okay, Cowboys are done, because I don't know whenever I was going to use them again. So
Oh,
that's
thank
why
God. So you did
yeah,
take them. That's
yeah, I did take
funny.
the Cowboys. Yeah, I did take the Cowboys. So I'm
Yeah.
still in,
That's
and
good. They
yes,
won by a hair, and
by
if they
air, by a
didn't,
field goal. Yeah, I
trust
would have
me,
been out.
if they didn't, I would have slammed that Texans bet.
Yes,
Like,
yes, right.
there was something in me that was like, nope, you can't
Yeah,
do it. You've
exactly.
already lost to Baker Mayfield. Like,
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, and I mean, Tampa Bay's probably gonna be a favorite this week too. I think they played the
Mhm.
Jets this week, and
Yeah,
yeah,
you'll hear it on my show. I do
mhm,
plan on talking about that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
the week before, so second week was all about, hey, we should take all the dogs, or it was pointing to that. So it looked very, very, very good and delicious to
mhm,
take all the dogs because that's what it
yep,
was pointing to. But then I think that happens this week because a
yeah,
lot of what you're looking at is, oh, you should take the favorites, and it starts off with the Bills.
yes.
So.
Tomorrow night, actually,
Mhm.
they play on Thursday night against Miami, and they're gonna be a heavy favorite, Buffalo.
It's
Um,
already, yeah, I think it went
and
up to 12, right?
yeah, it was 11 at one point, 11 and a half, I think, but yeah,
Oh
it
my
might be
gosh.
12 now. So
The
that's a
bloodbath is what they're saying.
yeah, and it's the interesting thing. Yeah, Miami is struggling right now, but it's a divisional game. You just don't know how those divisional games are going to be. And
Mhm.
as bad as Miami has been and has looked, they looked a little bit better last this week too. But they're in shambles right now, from the coaching to the players and everything too.
Mhm.
But they might get up for this game against Buffalo. But Buffalo looks they look tremendous
They
coming
look
back against,
unstoppable.
unstoppable,
Yes.
coming back against Baltimore, dominating the Jets last week. So they're rolling right now, and they beating those teams in a lot of different ways too. So they're definitely going to be they're a heavy favorite, as you said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Any other not to give too much up, I know you're going to talk about on the show, but
I
any other favorites
uh,
that you can
for
name, maybe off the top, like a couple just
for
to so
for
far?
coming up,
Yeah, for
yeah,
week 3.
so I definitely think that the hot seat is out for, Daniels or McDaniels,
Yeah, yeah,
McDaniels?
Josh
Yes,
McDaniel. Or yeah,
McDaniels,
yeah,
yeah. So it's definitely out there for him. I do think that, Miami is still a professional football team, so they
yeah,
will try to play.
yes.
This also reminds me of, I think it was 2019, the Niners were unstoppable, and
Hmm.
they got beat straight up by the Saints, I think it was, or the Cardinals. It was one of them, one of those teams, and they were a heavy 16-point favorite, if I
Mm,
have it
yeah,
correct. And I think that was when we almost went, like, the perfect record, but that didn't happen. So
right.
you have to watch out with something over 10. And I was always taught that in an old school way. I don't know if you were, but anything over 10, it's kind of scary
Yes,
as far as
because
the dog is concerned,
I agree with that for sure.
or the
And
favorite.
other favors, yep, for sure.
And then I think, well, I haven't been looking at we usually do this right before, but I do have a couple things, maybe the over in the Atlanta Carolina game, just because I was able to see Bryce Young um, almost catch up to an almost unstoppable Arizona.
Mm,
So, and you can't do that, right? You're kind of like,
yeah,
dude, this team is supposed to be not a good team, or they're supposed to suck, but they're not sucking. They're covering right now.
Yeah.
So, and Atlanta's a little bit of still a scrappy team. They needed a new kicker. They got a kicker. So I think that game could go over just because the defenses are kind of going through it. But
Yeah.
that's one of the ones that I have. I also like Cleveland not to win, but maybe to cover just because spread.
Yeah.
If it goes to 10, then you better believe I'm taking it, or we're taking some teasers on that. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to look forward to. Little teaser. So make sure you check out the show. To this, you say record tonight, so it'll be out tomorrow, right before all the games and things like that. All right. Last question before I let you go. So you are the sports betting queen, and if you were running all of sports betting, like you were a commissioner of sports betting. It's a fun question. If you're the commissioner of sports betting, you oversee everything when it comes to betting and things like that. What change or changes would you make when it comes to just the sports betting landscape?
What changes would I make? That's a really good question.
Thank you.
I think I would make it so that families would be able to do it, like contest. I think it should be family oriented, since it's almost like a national holiday to have a Super Bowl anyway. And I think that is more encompassing and welcoming to everybody. And I think that's what Circus is doing. I know that they are very much so 21 and over, obviously the real Vegas, because that's what it is. But I think you also have to prepare your home to be like, hey, like this is just something natural that we all do now. Like you said, the growth of it all. So for me, it would be to make it a little bit more fun for everybody. And if you can do a contest with your whole family and you guys win a ton of money, like it's Family Feud, then why not?
I like that. I do like if you could do something like that, put it as a family oriented type of thing. As you said, the Super Bowl is a national holiday. I mean, that's
pretty much
just you bring people together. You have dinners and parties and all these things for people come together.
Making money.
It's making money. Yes,
it's a huge party.
It is a huge party. It's a huge party, and people take off work the next day normally. Sometimes, so yeah, it's yes, I like that. I like that idea and everything too. I got to ask one more. You went to Comic-Con just recently and everything too. Are you? I'm assuming big Marvel fan, big fan in general. Okay, so I am.
I have a great friend of mine, he's one of my bestest friends, and we grew up together. He works for Marvel.
Ooh.
So he's an amazing guy. He has an amazing wife who is also become one of my good friends. So much fun all the time. And I have another friend who got us into all of the Comic-Con scene. I've always been a fan because it's like, drama for me. I loved collecting toys. One day you'll see my toy collection, very expensive toy collection.
Okay, all right.
That my husband hates. No, I love every single bit of that stuff. I love all of Marvel, and I'm glad that you do too. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes. Huge Marvel fan. I mean, since I was young, I mean, this is before the movies and MCU and all that. Grew up just collecting comic books. I still have them, most of them. And
that's great.
So big comic book fan or big comic book fan. And
do you ever go to New York?
No, I haven't been to Comic-Con, not like the New York. Even when they have it here in Philly, they have it. I've been wanting to go. I got to get an opportunity to get out there.
New York is definitely one to go, Courtney.
Yeah,
New York Comic-Con is the same as San Diego, which is the biggest one.
Yes.
But they're in conjunction with together. But from what I heard, New York is one of the best ones, just because if you're a comic book guy, they do a lot of signings there. More than they do. San Diego is more of like, hey, you'll see like what's coming out, So we got to see a lot of the Tron and SD stuff, like Demon Slayer, anything that's new that's coming out. And we love to dress up. I mean,
Yes, I
I
saw
like
you guys were
so I make everybody dress up.
you guys were Fantastic Four. I saw that on
Yes,
your
yes.
Instagram.
Mhm.
That was, and that's when the movie had just came out too, or was getting ready to come out
Yeah.
around that
Gotta be
same
in
time.
theme, dude. You gotta be
Yeah,
in theme.
yes. So yes, you do all the. I love that. And well, okay, so Dan, we got to definitely do another podcast for sure.
We definitely will, I
Yes, yeah.
promise.
Who are some of your favorite characters
Um,
when it comes to just the
so
comic books in general?
all-time favorite character is Storm, uh,
Okay, okay.
just because she can control the weather,
Yep,
and,
yep.
I think I'm a type A person, so control.
Okay.
But, like, it was
Right.
always, like, interesting to me that if she can control the weather, then that
Mhm.
means you can control your bets. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. God can control the
Uh,
weather and control the
no,
bets. Yes.
yes. No, I'm just joking, but
I love that.
we always, like, talk about, like, all these places should have, like, roofs on top of them or closed,
Closed in
yeah.
stadiums, like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they don't
Mhm.
do that. So even for
No.
the Bills, you're like, "Oh my god, it's winter." But yeah, no,
Yeah.
Storm is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Rogue and, Gambit, their love story,
Mm.
just because I love that. But I am honestly, and I know my friend's gonna hear this, and he knows this, I'm a
Mhm.
DC girl too.
Oh,
Like, I
yeah. Okay.
so one of my favorite all-time artists is Sean Murphy, who I got to meet recently at Comic Con, and I just stumbled upon his booth, and I didn't even know that it was him until like he started signing the photo. And I love Harley Quinn and Joker,
Mm.
so
Mhm.
it's something that kind of resonates within me that she's a baddie, and then he's a baddie too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type thing.
Okay.
But those are all-time favorite would probably be the White Knight. That's a comic book, and then Sean Murphy did the drawings for that. And I think it's a great storyline if you've never read it. It's when Joker becomes Batman in another life.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah,
That's a good storyline to have. Oh my God.
definitely.
We could have okay, we definitely gonna be doing this because I gotta, love to pick your brain about, like you said, I know you said you have a friend in the industry, and I'm sure you know a lot of different things that goes on and what's got to happen and things like that. I know you gotta be tight lipped, especially with
Yeah. Oh
and
no. Yeah. He's the
things like
same way.
that.
He's
Yeah,
the
you gotta
same way.
be, I'm sure.
It's just a lot of it is very exciting for me too, to know
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like, this is gonna
Yes.
happen, or
Yep.
it's not gonna happen, but he's a baby, he's telling me it's gonna happen, So
Yeah, yeah.
I know just as much as everybody else, but it's just fun to like kind of be like, ooh, what's going
No,
on?
right, right, yes, yes, right. So I can tell, like you said, you like love X-Men. I'm a big X-Men fan, and
Oh, did you
uh,
watch the new one, or like the new continued one that is 97?
97, yes, X-Men 97,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah,
The
they
new
animated.
one that they continued just now,
Yes,
like this
yes,
year.
yep,
Or
yep,
yeah, oh my
enjoyed it.
God, I'm glad that you love it. I mean,
Yeah,
and honestly, generally, it really does relate to a lot of the things that we watch too, and you'll
yeah,
be able to articulate and put that together. I know a lot of people probably don't think that because they're like, oh no, football is way different than cartoons, but it is because it's entertainment. So you have
entertainment.
to understand that like these characters who you follow may or may not do the things that you always think they're going to do.
Yep, exactly. Oh my goodness, yes, we are for sure going to be doing another. We're going to do a Marvel or just a
Oh, I would love that.
NCU, DC, just the direction where it's
All of that.
going
I'm
and
totally down for
everything.
it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get back on. So, but Sports Betting Queen is the handle.
Mhm.
Follow on all social media platforms. But let everyone know. Thank you again for first and foremost. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate the conversation. Appreciate your time, and I really enjoyed this thoroughly. I really did, and I got to get to know you a little bit and everything too. But let everyone know they can follow you, subscribe to the podcast. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you so much again. Real deal, Courtney. At the Sports Betting Queen at K Deuces, www.thesportsbettingqueen.com. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. It's completely free. All of our takes are on the podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Google, wherever you can find your podcasts. And it's free until the playoffs because the guys want to start charging $1 to be able to get their coffee.
Why
That's
not?
on them.
Why
Yeah.
not?
I mean,
Yeah.
people spend more money on a piece of pizza, so I get
Yes, yes, yeah. Let them have their coffee for sure
yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
But I really appreciate this time. I really enjoyed it. And again, subscribe, follow, ask questions, listen, and all those things. Like, subscribe, all those things as
Thank you
well.
so
So,
much.
all
Thanks
right,
for
thank
having
you.
me.
Yes, you're welcome, and then
Okay.
have a good show, and we'll do this again.
Yeah, looking forward to having you on too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, anytime. All right, you have a good one. Talk to you soon.
You too. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye. All right, that was K Deuces, KDK Demesa, K Deuces on Instagram. Follow her there, Sports Betting Queen on Instagram as well. And her podcast is Crooks and Books. So follow, like, and subscribe, all those things. All right, well, that's a wrap for the show. Thanks for everyone that tuned in. Really always appreciate the support. And until next time, more great episodes coming up, more great guests. Be on the lookout. Just follow on social media and all the promotions there. I always promoted the show right before I air, so like the day or two before, so you'll get to know who's on. And looking forward to it. So again, hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Got a great guest tomorrow, so I'll be on the lookout for that. So all right, till next time, peace. God bless.